allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any adjustments to the agenda? None, right?
Yes, we'd like to move the technology report, for after public comment.
Public comment. The school board endorses the concept that community participation in the affairs of the school is essential to improve the quality of education for its students. To be eligible to address the board, an individual should reside within the school unit, be an employee of the school unit, or be invited by the board or superintendent to speak. The board shall give due attention to comments and contributions from the audience, but shall not be expected to respond or take action immediately. Audience inquiries other than simple questions shall be referred to the superintendent, who shall investigate or consider the matter and report to the citizens and to the board. If the board action is indicated, the item may be included in an agenda for subsequent meetings. Comments will be heard for no longer than 3 minutes per person. Is there any comments?
Julie, is that the way that's supposed
that
to be on
unmuted?
it?
The window?
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved it over from us to over in front
Oh,
because we're
okay.
host
Oh,
and
okay.
Cam is not host. It has to stay up just in case I have to admit
Okay,
other folks.
all right.
We all set? Okay. No public comment. Approval of the minutes? Do I
Make
have
a motion.
Don't wait.
For us.
You're right, we'll do the tech report first.
Oh, even before the approval.
Yes.
Okay. All right, tech report. Mr. Robbins.
And right here, right? If I remember correctly.
Get on the camera, yeah.
Gotcha. Hello, Jared Robbins, Technology Director. What's up, everybody? I was working today and just decided I could pop in and give my report myself this time. So a couple of notes is we set up and deployed 80 iPads and 30 Chromebooks to start beginning that recycling program that I'm trying to implement. Giving the students the new devices that they need to learn properly and getting rid of the old, so they're not accumulating in my offices. The next, continuously working with teachers and staff to fix various issues, hardware and software. That's just the day-to-day stuff. Figured I'd put it in there. It's still important. Next, still in the beginning stages of getting in contact with Network Maine. A big plan of mine is walking into this district, the network and network troubleshooting has been near impossible just because all the racks and the server is just not maintained well. So I'd love to use E-Rate to get a complete overhaul of the network within the next couple of years if possible. And E-Rate has already guaranteed us 80% discounts. So doing that through E-Rate would be incredible savings as well. And also help me being able to solve issues like that is kind of the forefront of that. Next bullet not needed. I did add a bullet onto mine. I started a living resolution database that will contain all long form issues and their fixes. So that's a Google Sheet form that I've created, and anything that comes up that takes me more than 15 minutes to deal with or requires external software or avenues to fix. I've created a document that gives me the issue, exactly how to fix it, even pictures. So if any of you have those issues, I can send you that document and it can be done step-by-step basis, pictures, resolutions, and it worked. I actually just used it last week
Sweet.
on a problem that I had in April. So some updates from me. And that is all I have. Any questions?
I think with the tech guy present, it's a good time to mention that, was it yesterday that I got an email from Erica Ingalls, so business manager out to East Millinocket, with a link in it to click on, and I didn't click on it because it was kind of unusual for me to get something from her. And
Proud of
again,
you.
it was another,
I'm proud of you.
well, it
A
was,
lot of people,
I
a
mean,
lot of people do.
the thing is they all look so
Mhm.
real, you know?
Yeah.
And when it says her name and her, like business manager, like everything you
Yeah.
know it's supposed to say. So I emailed her separately. So I'm only bringing it up because it really is a problem. So keep reminding everybody that even if you know the people, you've really got to be careful. I don't know when this is gonna stop, but it's a problem, so. No. So Jared, when we were talking about that this morning, he mentioned that, we have, is it firewalls? You had something that you said that stopped some of the emails.
Oh, the quarantine I created.
Quarantine, right? So I don't really know exactly how that works. Like how many days it's in quarantine is like COVID or. I don't know.
It's 2 weeks and back to work.
But you know, just remind everybody that these things look real and they're not, so, yeah. All right, thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Chair.
Safe travels.
Appreciate it. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
So do we want to move to the minutes approval?
Yes, yeah.
Approval of the minutes, can I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the school board meeting August 12th, 2025, barring any errors or omissions.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Right, yeah. Payroll warrant,
Do you want me to do it?
give me a motion.
Weird that nobody jumped to it. Motion to direct the superintendent of schools to authorize payment by the town treasurer to each party listed herein, the sum set against each name contained in the following school payroll warrant. Flip the page. August 28th, 2025. Whoop,
I needed a second on that,
on what?
She's gotta read.
I gotta read the
first.
warrant.
sorry.
August
Yeah,
28th,
nice day.
2025. PR 26 it's because I was early, everybody's all messed up.
Yeah, on the-
PR 26-5, $123,209.23. PR 26-5D, $34,086.11. September 11th, 2025. PR 26-6 in the amount of $139,659.04. And PR 26-60, $81,252.75.
Second,
Thank you, Rachel.
you're welcome.
We got you, we got you.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor? I will. Motion for payroll warrant,
I'd like to make a motion to direct the superintendent of schools to authorize payment by the town treasurer to each party listed herein. The sum set against each name contained in the following school payable warrant. August 28th, 2025, AP 26-6, $24,659.33. AP 26-7, $99,337.57. AP 25-45, FY 25, $388.85. SA 26-3, student activity, $5,025. And on September 11th, 2025, AP 26-8, $55,616.36. SA 26-4, $2,389.70. Second.
any discussion? All in favor? I will. Notifications of employees, someone want to read that?
I guess that's hot. Number 8.
The bottom.
The important part.
We're getting there, discussion regarding the board participation
Weirdly
in
cut.
conversations with East Millinocket and Medway regarding possible future configurations.
So, so what that's about is a few weeks ago in East Millinocket, we were invited to join, Medway and East Millinocket. Our board was invited to join them. And so we met in the East Millinocket town office, downstairs in their boardroom or meeting room, and there were, I think, Heather, do you know, like 27 people online and probably another 15 or 20 in the room, something like that. I believe so. And so they were, that was representatives from the school boards in each of the districts. So when, upon conclusion of that, or an outcome of that, they asked for us to go back and ask each of our boards if we were interested in having a conversation about what comes next, and doing something in a more formal conversation with what comes next. So today's discussion is asking you as a board if you're interested in pursuing more formal conversations with Medway and or East Millinocket for what our future might hold.
Yes, are you looking for a?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a, like a tally vote, so Julie is a yes?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And Rachel?
Yes.
All right,
Not only interested, but very interested.
all righty, okay, Kevin Murphy?
No, yes.
Julie, yes.
And yes.
And Donnie. So what I'm going to do with that information is I will write an email that says it was formally presented to you at our school board, and we were 5 in favor of continuing or starting some formal conversations about what the future looks like. I'll call each of you into that so you'll see it. Okay,
Julie, would you mind reading the notifications of this one?
Sure.
You're so good at it.
A notification of employment, transfers, Hillary Sear has transferred from Special Ed Tech 3 to the Granite Street School Library Ed Tech 3. Cassandra Kunkel has transferred from a Special Ed Tech 3 to a Title I Ed Tech 3 at Granite. Courtney Legassi has transferred from a Title I Ed Tech 3 position at Granite to a Special Ed Tech 3 position at Stearns. Linda Medore has transferred from a Special Ed Tech 2 to a Special Ed Tech 3 at Granite. Jesse Morrison has transferred from a Special Ed Tech 1 to a Special Ed Tech 3 at Granite. Lisa Murray has transferred from a Special Ed Tech 2 to a Special Ed Tech 3 at Granite. New hires, Victoria Blanchett has been hired as a Special Ed Tech 1 at Granite Street Schools as of 9/1/25, step 0, $18.31 per hour. Simon Brightman has been hired as a Special Ed Tech 3 at Granite Street Schools as of 9/15/25, step 0, $20.81 an hour. Michaela Quayle has been hired as a Special Ed Tech 2 at Granite Street School as of 9/8/25, step 0, $19.56 an hour. Catherine Shaw has been hired as a Special Ed Tech 3 at Granite Street School as of 9/8/25, step 1, $21.06 an hour. Faith Sinnott has been hired as a Special Ed Tech 1 at Granite Street School as of 9/1/25, step 0, $18.31 an hour.
We don't have a senior student here.
right, so Madison is at field hockey practice, I believe, so she did present a report here for you to read, but she's at practice. And I believe National Honor Society, National Honor Society is looking to find another representative to join our, another student representative, yeah. So hopefully we'll have a nomination in person soon.
All right. Good service.
No, Mia presented this report for you and she had, I hope you take the time to look through, and if you see her or have a question, you can ask her. She had to stay home today. But she did put her report in for you. And there's a lot of information in here as to how summer went and some of the new things that she's doing, like with the hydroponic tower. And I think some of these things she had mentioned to you before.
Can I just say how much I love her comprehensive report? Like, look at all that.
Mhm.
Look at those statistics. I love it.
She does a wonderful
State for the record. Yay, Mia.
All right, Facilities Director, Mr. DeFederico.
So we had a busy summer at both schools. Wrapped up another successful cleaning season. Every classroom between here and Granite Street was emptied, scrubbed, floors waxed, lights changed, bugs gotten out, cobwebs. Pretty big undertaking at both. You're looking at 2 schools and over 200,000 square feet of space, and every square inch of that space gets touched in the summer. We got a great group of people that do all that work, and it is not easy work, and it was a hot summer towards the end. And they didn't slow down. We have a job to do and we have a deadline to meet. So very pleased with the work we got done. We had a lot of moving this year in the high school. I moved 5 different rooms around, thanks to Ms. Peavy. And that gave us the opportunity though to empty some rooms and give some rooms a real refresh and redo some drywall and fix them up. We also completed both of the science labs, which was no small feat. Those came out very nice, and we got some painting done inside. We got some painting done outside on the fields, and the blue barn finally got painted, and the kayak building. Nice to see those things. So inching away at it. We certainly don't have the crew that we used to years ago, but we do the best we can with what we got to work with. We had the Nazarene Church at Granite Street donate their time and energy to redoing the lobby, which was long overdue over there. It looks absolutely fantastic. Always appreciative of their work. Sometimes they come in and clean lockers for us. The men usually weed whack and brush out the fence lines along the athletic complex, which is a huge help because we truly do not have time to get to some of that work in the summer. We also completed the retrofit on our big boiler at Stearns. The control upgrade was completed earlier in the summer. And all of the boiler room controls were all redone, so we should be back up to par with a functioning heating system over here for the winter season. Again, that was not a small, it's all behind the scenes stuff that are pretty major things in keeping things running, but we got them completed. And the last thing I'm currently working on is applying for a grant to complete and finish the heating upgrades at Granite Street. With a lot of the COVID money, we poured that into what we could that the grant supported, which was the ventilation aspect of things. We put all digital controls on the univents. Unfortunately, the univents in the older part of the building are over 70 years old, and in the newer part of the building, they're 60 years old. So we also over there create steam for our heat. We need to convert from steam to hot water. And it's a pricey project, but there's some grant money out there. So by the end of October, I'm hoping that we can have all of our ducks in a row and get everything submitted to possibly look at getting that grant or getting something from the grant to help us offset some of those costs and move forward with that in future. So that's kind of what's in the pipeline, along with 1,000 other things. The oil tanks are full, Kevin. We're ready for we're ready for winter. I'm not ready for winter, but as far as that goes. But any questions?
I have one, the steam to water, those new boilers that we have over there can do that, right? We're all
They
set for that.
can do that. We can convert, when we put them in, we put them in with the idea that we could convert those boilers to hot water boilers. Unfortunately, or fortunately, unfortunately, we're on the cusp right now of whether that would be a wise move or not to do. Because a year ago, I had to tear one of those whole boilers apart because the steam is so aggressive in eating away at the boilers. It is eating away at the boilers. We had a hole poked through the bottom of one of them a year ago. We had to reseal the whole thing. The engineers came up a week ago and we looked at everything, and their recommendation is to replace both boilers. They're currently looking at that because of those boilers are 15 years old now, which doesn't sound like it's old, but steam is hard on everything. It just eats everything.
When time goes fast.
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
It does. And you remember, you were here when we did the steam to hot water conversion in this building, which did save us significantly in fuel, and it will save us at Granite Street in fuel as well. But it's a necessary, I think we're one of the last schools left around that even heats with steam anymore. So
will the grant address, I didn't realize that boilers would be part of that. Will the grant address that as well?
Yep.
It will?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Dylan.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment, you get an opportunity to go over and see Granite Street's lobby, it looks beautiful. And besides that, it was like the day before or 2 days before school started, I came over and Louis was busy still tying up ends on the lab. So I mean, right up till the days,
Yeah.
right up till the minute, he was working on it.
Okay, business manager, Rhonda Fulton.
Okay, the district has been notified from the Department of Education that it's being audited for the local entitlement idea grant. And my dad probably. And all the documentation has been uploaded as of today, and we had until September 25th. There was quite a list to upload, but it's all been uploaded. And once they reviewed it, they will come and do an on-site visit, and I don't know when that will be, sometime October, I was told. But we'll figure out when we finish reviewing the documentation.
So is that just the financial piece of the same review that you're under? Yeah.
Budget update, the district has spent 10.24% of its budget so far, which is $882,974. And revenue taken in so far that I've been able to log and record is only $484,290 so far. I am attending a Maine ASBO regional conference on September 19th and at the Elks Lodge in Augusta. The topics are latest bills and rules that have come out of Washington and Augusta. It ought to be interesting. And how to get in touch with our elected officials to share with them how we're feeling and what the bills are affecting us. Currently, all the grants and billings for shared services are up to date, and that includes ESEA, Title I and Title V, all the summer titles been done. Local entitlement, the pre-K, preventing student homelessness, the WARC grant, which is the ELO coordinator, Gear Up, the special education director shared services, superintendent shared services, and I haven't started billing yet for the Ascent program, but I will be signing that this end of this month. Any questions?
Yeah, I got a stupid one, I guess.
Not so fast.
89, is that done?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
Used to, 67, it's not that, thanks. Was to, I see they laugh.
Hey, Special Ed Director, Jan Newhouse. Thought we changed.
That works. I was waiting for that. You didn't send it the last name.
That's right.
So with special ed, just to kind of go through some of the highlights. Last year there was a big focus on like paperwork, compliance, all of that. As Rhonda kind of mentioned and Shelley, we are getting monitored this year, so I'm actually excited to have them come in. And they'll come in, do a site visit. The staff, they've kind of changed how they do the monitoring since the last time that they were here. And because of some recent things that have happened with other districts that they've monitored, they've changed it again this year. So they'll be coming in, we'll do like a self audit. So all of the case managers will go through files, they'll be able to have a little training on that. We'll go through and input where we're compliant, where we're not. Then the DOE will come in, check those files, and now, brand new this year is going to be, they will pull between 10, 5, they're not quite sure, 15, however many files. They're going to just pull random files and say that we are doing things, so they will go right through the files. So with that, a lot of last year's time was spent on getting everything ready for that. The down kind of like towards the next to the last bullet is the not so quick guide. So what that is it was all updated, and what I've developed is it is a whole like document that is all bookmarked, so they can go and see this is what we do for a written notice, this is what we do before meetings. So it's everything that they need to know, like in my regs that are this big, condensed down into one little document that they can go through, and that everything to keep us in regulation compliance and everything's right in that. So that's been updated. They were given that. And so along with that is going to be, this year's focus is a lot on coaching. So it will be, if I'm sending out resources to them, because of PBIS and like the new reading program, I won't have them as much like in-person trainings. So I've developed a resource library, and that is the 18 Google folders. There's everything from their certification, how to do grow your own type of stuff. There is any information on disabilities, behaviors, work environment, self-care. There's a whole big thing on self-care for them. So all of that is in there. They'll have access to that. So anytime that they want to, look at that like for certification, they can do that. But I'll keep sending resources, and then it will be a lot more like in the classrooms and whatever we've discussed, whatever we're talking about. And I send out like little things. Same thing with what they're doing in PBIS. It will be me going into whether it's, general ed classrooms or special ed classrooms, and having more conversations with them in that way. So it's kind of a transition this year with what my focus will be. And as you could hear by the employment, that I thank you for reading all of those. There was a lot of hiring, and we are fully staffed. So every single position. Our social worker, I was just waiting to get confirmation that she would be back with us this year. She was the one that I contracted last year. She had some pretty significant family things that have been going on, but she's going to start next week. So she's back with us. So we have every related service, everything is covered. Right now, I'm not gonna wood, because it's only since last Thursday that they're all covered. And then very excited, that our, board certified behavior analyst is last year she was, contracted again, but she was only, just virtual. So at the beginning of the year, it was that she was going to come to us, but then it didn't happen. So through a lot of conversations with the company, we have a new in-person, person. And so she came around to the school, she was introduced to everybody on Wednesday, I don't know, one day, last week. We went around, she has seen the students already, she is emailing with staff members. And so she's really looking at getting those services in, and she will be boots on the ground, seeing everything that's going on, helping with behavior plans and all of that. So that's really, really exciting to get somebody in person. And then lastly, the partnerships. So we've talked a lot about different partnerships. CDS, we have our MOUs already signed with them. The contracts went to all the providers. So we will begin servicing all of our 4-year-olds right from the beginning with our staff. So in 2 years, there's 2 more cohorts to go through. We'll have to take the 3 through. 3 and 4-year-olds are going to become our responsibility. So this is a step in that direction. I'll go to all of their IEP meetings this year. The staff members will be able to, get all of the services, OT, PT, speech, their special ed services, ed tech support, all of that will come from us. So it will help with that transition when we need to do it. Right now, CDS is paying for our services. So that's the contract. So our staff are working, but they are getting paid. So we'll get reimbursed for their time for that. And True Connections is now coming. We have sent quite a few. They're out of Lincoln at this point, but we have quite a few families and students that they're servicing right now. They work on med management. They have licensed drug and alcohol counselor, and she's a clinical counselor. So she's going for her licensed clinical personal counselor. So she could then do what the social work is doing for contracted now, would then be an in-person somebody eventually. So they have had a lot of contact. I've been sending a lot of people to Lincoln, but Lincoln was a long travel, so some people couldn't do it. They just ended up purchasing office space at K-Tech. So they are now going to be at K-Tech to service the Tri-County area or whatever you want to, I don't know, what region, I guess. So anyways, Tri-Towns, that's what she called it. So they're coming there, and then pretty soon they'll have the counseling piece of it. The person that is doing the drug and alcohol counseling now is partnering with the Scent Project, which is up and running. But there's a few students in there that could use some support with nicotine and other addictions that they're dealing with. So they're going to partner with us. They're going for a grant and want to use our school as a site for where they will provide free services to us with a grant. And I've set them up with Panquist's Say project. So now they're connecting, which is another, and that is for affected others. So it could be anybody that's in our school that's been affected by drug addiction in any way, family member or anything. So they would be coming in, partnering. So it would be not only those that have addictions themselves, but what are called affected others. So those are kind of the partnerships that I'm working on right now to get support for our students. Any questions? No?
Thank you. Grand Street School Principal, Joanne Mary.
Hello, everyone. Some of the staff changes we've already talked about. We've had quite a bit of change in our enrollment. We're now up to 209 students. We've had 11 come in. We've had, I think, 7 go out. A group of us went to various trainings from PBIS this summer. To start that process, it's a 5-year process, and so we're part of the 5th cohort by the state. And this is a positive behavioral intervention support system that the DOE is providing for us. And Granite has adopted a new motto called Care, Choose Kindness, Act Responsible, Respect Everyone, and Engage in Learning. Throughout the year, we'll be rolling that out and working on that with the staff and students. And we've started a couple initiatives of ways that the teachers greet students as they come into their rooms, and how Mr. Guyverson greets them as they come in the morning and the afternoon as they leave. And we started also working on cafeteria, because that's usually an area of need. So we're working on teaching the kids how to behave in the cafeteria, and do an incentive program where the duty teachers get picked 5 students who are following all of the expectations, and the next day they get to go into a space with an adult and eat lunch in a small group and have some games and activities. We started that this week. Today was the first day, so there's a few bugs we're working on. We had a full day of training with our new Holt Mifflin reading program, and that's, again, when you take on something new, it's a lot of work, but it's coming along. We're going to start having assemblies once a month. We're gonna start that next week. And we're gonna tie it into attendance, and we're gonna tie it into PBIS. And we had a few glitches with our Apple and some of our iPads, but we found out it was an expired something or other that Vera didn't know about, because it was still under Cody's name. So we got that straightened out, and the same thing happened with the IXL. We got that figured out, so now everybody's IXL is up and running as of last night. It triggered, so. That's it for you. Any questions?
How's school resource officer stuff coming now that we have this addition? I've heard positive things, really, I mean, I'm not surprised to have heard positive things. Frank's great. But
Yeah,
you're finding the kids are
he came in.
responding well and happy?
Trying to get in. He came in and read to one of the pre-K kids, and we're gonna try to get him in more and more to read with some of the classrooms and get to know the kids, and really connect him with some of our more tricky kids. And he also did a wellness check on a family that we hadn't seen the kids yet, and found out where they were. So he's been very helpful. So
Awesome.
He's done a lot more for students that Granite.
Right.
He keeps
Keep
popping
that
in.
question in mind. Same question when you come up.
Thank you. Stearns Junior Senior High Assistant Principal, Athletic Director Nick Nolan.
Hey, everybody. First of the year, we have been really focused on a couple of things. First is the attendance, huge issue that's in every school across the state. Officer Frank has been great with that. We've had some of our usual suspects that have a hard time getting to school, and he has made trips with the cruiser over to pick them up and get them to school. So that's been a great resource. Speak a little bit of Officer Frank. He's got a ton of energy, really relates to the kids. I thought I had a lot of energy, and Tammy will vouch for this. He runs circles around me. He's very good with the kids. He's forming relationships, which is what we want to see. We want the kids to be very comfortable with law enforcement and feel comfortable talking to them. And he's also very good whatever we need him to help us out with. He's been great. He's been a wonderful addition, and he fits right in.
He was present at the school supply giveaway as
Yeah.
well at the fire
Yeah.
station. He was hanging around and chatting with families and stuff.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing is we were at the football exhibition game, and as soon as he walked in, I heard a bunch of kids yell, "Hey, Officer Frank," and they're just
Sweet.
very excited to see him, which is really what we want to see. We got a new cell phone procedure here at the high school, which is the hot topic of the summer, and the kids are doing amazing. We have a few that are trying to stretch it a little bit, but we're dealing with them as we go. But for the most part, we've had great feedback from our teachers about the student engagement in classrooms, and teachers being able to teach and not be cell phone police, which was the entire point. That's going really, really well, and we're gonna keep on it because the data is just staggering of the effects that the cell phones and those things have on our students. It's nice going to the cafeteria and seeing these kids have conversations and not just all be sitting there staring at their cell phone, which is what I like to see. I try to tell them when they get old like us, we wish you could take that cell phone and throw it out the window. They don't believe me, but I really wish I could. But that's going very, very well. Kids are doing amazing. It's a big change for them, but they're really doing well. And a lot of the older kids are really leading by example. I had to talk, of course, because I'm around the football boys a lot, and the football boys are really leading by example and checking those phones in and doing great things. With the athletic and co-curricular world, all seasons are up in full bore. Middle school field hockey had their first game on Monday, this past Monday. Football, we had our first regular season game on Saturday, where we won. We play this week in Orono. Friday night, 7 o'clock, it's on WHOU live stream if anybody can't make it. Kids are working ridiculously hard. High school field hockey did a jamboree down in Hamden. They had played one regular season game last week, where they won. They beat Central. They play tomorrow at Guilford and Friday home against MA at 5, if any of you guys can make it. Kids are doing the same thing. And before I forget, huge shout out to Louis and Mr. McGinnis and the janitorial staff, because our fields for the summer we had are amazing. And I told Louis this morning, every official that has come to our school for field hockey or football comments, I can't believe how good your fields are because of the summer that we had. So really big shout out to them. The performing arts kids are really excited. They're telling me all about Mamma Mia. They keep on telling me all these different roles, which I have no clue what they're talking about, but they're excited. So I know that they're pumped about that. And, you know, we're just looking forward to a great year and to get kids involved. We have sign-ups for esports, some other things going on, and we're just hoping that every kid has the opportunity to become a part of something that we have to offer. If it's co-curricular, extracurricular, or esports, or a chess club if they want to start it. We just want every kid to be involved some way or another.
Excellent.
Yep, any questions from anybody? Okay,
Thank you.
awesome, you got it.
Stearns Junior Senior High School Principal, Becky Peavy.
So I touched a little bit upon the PBIS as well. It was, we had, Joanna and I had 4 days of training and everyone else came for 3 of those. So it was back and forth to Augusta for 3 days in a row and then a 4th day the following week. We're really excited to get started. The great thing is we're starting all together, like on the same level, and we're all going to learn together and move forward. Because it will only work if it's used with fidelity. So, and it's a whole shift in culture. Like we want our culture to be a positive experience. We want to celebrate more of the successes rather than focusing on the negatives. We are going to start assemblies as well, focusing on attendance and some of the positives through PBIS. We will be attending a college fair at UMO for the juniors and seniors, September 18th. So it takes place every year in the UMO Fieldhouse, and there are a lot of colleges represented. I don't even want to throw out a guess of how many, but more than 50. And so students can go and look up where their programs are being offered and then what each school is offering, be able to talk to the reps, and it helps a lot of our juniors and seniors start really making more concrete plans.
Right.
So we have that happening. We also have senior night. Mrs. Buzzle organizes and executes this. So it's all things senior. We'll have Nikki Vachon from Fame there talking about FAFSA and all of the great financial stuff that goes along with attending school. Jen Durgan from Gear Up will also be there. We'll talk about scholarships and college applications, apprenticeship programs, internships. And then Gear Up is providing supper for everyone, so pizza, drinks, chips. We are offering the PSATs this year in October, and that is free to all juniors who want to take it. And that's a continuation from being part of the Melmac grant. I also had tryouts for the fall musical Mamma Mia. They've had those. The cast has been picked and the kids are super excited. They're like, and I'm the same as Nick, like I've seen the movie, but I don't know all the characters. So the kids will come up and start talking and they're very excited and I'm excited for them and I can't wait to see it as always. So we're also having another financial fitness fair put on by the Credit Unions of Maine, and that will happen in October. The kids get a lot out of that. They're given a profession, they're given a budget, they're told how much they'll make. They have to go around to different stations and pay bills. And they get a really good understanding of different lessons that they learn in their personal finance classes, so. And we are offering 3 dual enrollment classes this year, so we have Mrs. Loom doing the English 101. Mr. McLean is also doing a college algebra and computer applications. We hope to have in place a 4th dual enrollment class for either government or US history, which is another great opportunity for our students to take a bunch of college credits with them when they decide to go for free. So, any questions?
I have one. With the last couple of years, the Melmet grant has provided a lot of opportunity for our kiddos to like go places in the college career fair and everything here. So the career fair is being taken over by Gear Up, is that right? In the
Yes.
spring? So how about the other things that the Melmet grant did? Is there any chance that the Gear Up program will cover those?
Yes, they have covered some of those, like the college visits that they take some of the students
Yeah,
on, the
right.
immersion thing that they did. So it's kind of a continuation of some of the stuff that the
Is it?
Melmat grant provided.
Good,
Because it's supplementing, it's not supplanting, it's not starting something new.
right,
It's helping us continue with some of the things that we already did.
right, good. Got a lot of good feedback on those, so I was hoping we'd have money to continue on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jen Durgan, who has worked with us since last year, she'll be starting soon and she comes every single week. And she builds great relationships with our kids, finds out where they want to go, what they need to know. Does a lot of background work first before anything's even.
So how does she find the kids that she talks to?
Well, the kids know that she's here, every Wednesday. And some of the kids might stop in and talk to Mrs. Buzzle or myself. And we'll say, hey, you really should talk to Jen because she has more information. And they'll go to her and she'll sit down, help them map out plans and
Yeah.
let them know about various schools offering certain programs, you know, depending on what the student wants to do.
So last year when we started, remember the Gear Up grant was it was in transition. It didn't know if it was gonna be funded and then it was. So it was kind of like things were kind of being developed as it was being rolled out, right?
Yes.
So this year, it sounds like things are more laid out, people are in place, and is that accurate?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, there still could be changes. We're also adding to our school Gear Up budget that they're going to cover some additional classes for teachers. So in other words, if a teacher has taken all 3 classes that gets covered through the district and they need one more, then we can contact Gear Up and find out if they will cover that class so that a teacher could, you know, finish a certification or finish their degree, or so we're looking at that too. So there may be other changes like
Right.
that, but yes, the basic, what we did last year is kind of laid out, so we can.
So we had Gear Up last year and we've got it this year. What's the longevity of it? Do we know?
So it's following our 9th graders this year. So
Okay,
it started when
okay.
they were in 7th grade. and
Right.
It was a very slow start in
It
7th
was,
grade.
right?
Last year went much better.
Yeah.
That, you know, things really started to move. And now, like you said, a lot of stuff is just kind of
Yeah.
already in place and we'll add more. So it follows them until their first year after graduation. So
Oh.
it actually follows them a year after graduation.
All right, yeah,
The
perfect.
9th graders.
Good, thank you.
And then they help with 11th and 12th every single year.
Yep, good.
So,
Good program.
yeah, it is.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
New reporter is Voice of the Educator, Millinocket Education Association President Heather Oak.
As we begin another school year, the MEA remains committed to supporting our educators. We partnered with the Wellness Committee to plan events and initiatives aimed at promoting a healthy work-life balance. Our goal is to provide resources, ideas, and support to help staff thrive both professionally and personally. In August, we hosted a successful back-to-school event where MEA members received new t-shirts and lanyards. We're excited to see our membership continue to grow, with new staff joining and many current staff choosing to get more involved. While the start of the school year has brought enthusiasm, it has also presented some challenges. Several issues arose at the end of the summer that required significant time and effort to address. MEA members have worked diligently and collaboratively to find fair and reasonable resolutions. At Granite, teachers are implementing a new literacy program in addition to continuing with a recently adopted math program. These curricular changes have significantly increased planning and preparation demands. We are hearing concerns from staff about reduced planning time at various grade levels, and we are continuing to advocate for the time and resources teachers need to effectively support student learning. Looking ahead, we are actively working on drafting contract proposals for 2 bargaining units. Our goal is to be ready to begin negotiations this fall. We appreciate the continued support of the board and administration as we work together to ensure a successful year for our educators and students. Anyone have any questions for me?
Now you know how your students feel when you get up in front of people, right? It's different than their class.
Thank you. To go into executive session, see if the board.
I have just a couple of things. Yeah, I have just a couple of things. I know.
Oh, did you want to talk?
I know it was a long meeting. I know it was going to be a long meeting, so I didn't do a lot of things, but Chelsea has been working with the ELO program and that as well as a grant. So it is reimburses some of her salary and wages, and then also allows her to purchase things that help support students as they go out into like work type experiences. So she says, over the summer, we had a student complete the first ELO. It was she's a senior this year, and she earned 0.5 in an elective credit for her work as a teen intern at the Millinocket Memorial Library. She planned and facilitated community programs, learned about library operations, and grew in her understanding of herself as a professional. She walked away with new connections and a glowing reference. The ELO program is in high demand among our students, with many looking for opportunities to job shadow and intern with businesses in our community. At this stage in our program, we're still making connections in the community, and we're looking especially for partners in healthcare, to provide more opportunities for students. 2 students are currently in an ongoing school-long ELO, and we're looking forward to sharing what their experiences have been. So Chelsea has set work hours in the building so that kiddos can stop by, and she's having a lot of conversations, because a lot of this is like figuring out what kids want, so that comes with a conversation on, have you thought about this, or what are your interests in this, or so a lot of it comes with, she has to learn what their interests are in order to put together some of the experiences. She truly is finding that a lot of people are interested in healthcare. So we're trying to work with things like, we've investigated what does not health insurance, what does like workman's comp or a work type insurance look like for a high school student. So like we have students who want to go see what it looks like to be in a lab, what it looks like to do ultrasound, what it looks like to like prep for surgery, things like that. But there's all of these legal things with insurance. So we've been working with the insurance company on what some of those things look like. There's also others who are like, well, I would like to go to a local garage and learn how do you, like solder different types of materials. So like there's a real broad spectrum of what some of our students are wanting to experience. So we also have some money in the grant because the grant was actually awarded before we were able to get it started. So we have money that we're looking to shift. So Rhonda and Chelsea and I have met twice in the last few days, and we're going to meet with an advocate who has already been in an ELO program and we're really trying to take advantage of the funding that's available for us, because it's available for so many things like work boots, right? We have a student who needs to have work boot protection like the steel toe, and this ELO program will let us buy that. So we're still learning about what is permissible for reimbursement and trying to get some of the programs together. Where we've had conversation with Roger with the new program, the Ascent program, to see if we can have some type of experiential type event, like a couple hours, where we would take the kiddos in the van and then have some type of opportunity, because some of this is kids sometimes and adults think we know what we want to do, but until you've tried it, you realize that, well, that isn't what I want to do. Louis has a good example of his son. This summer, he does not want to be a painter, right? So sometimes we have to experience things to know we don't want to do them. And that's part of what this program can be like, particularly for our younger students. I also wanted to mention that Secretary McMahon for the U.S. Department of Education has recently come out saying that she is putting a focus on graduate credits and experiences more related to the workforce. And I only say that out loud because if you think not that long ago, the information coming out of the US DOE was all every child prepared for college, right?
Mhm.
So somewhere the pendulum has shifted again from every child prepared for college to let's get everybody in the workforce. So I'm thinking that somewhere we're gonna like ebb and flow back and forth a little bit. And I think if we keep ourselves focused on giving our students the best we can, the most relevant education for them, and helping kids make connections to what that relevancy is, in addition to things like the ELO, in addition to some of our programs changing in our science classes and math classes, that hopefully everybody is prepared for college and for the workforce. So I just thought that was interesting, and that just came out at the end of, at the beginning of this week after Labor Day. And that's all I've got today.
Thank you, Dr. Rain.
Shelley, I wanted to add, for the kids that are in school, we can use 25% of the funding for where I work on work experiences. So we've had people working at the library, the GEA library. We've had a bunch of the Chamber of Commerce, the school system, we've had people in here, so that can give them a start on their work career. So it's something that is available.
I don't understand what the 25% is.
We have to spend 25%, we can only spend 25% on people that are in school. So I haven't graduated.
Oh,
from
I
high school.
see. I see.
So, but they do have that push to get some work experiences. There's a lot of local business that we could get that to work at.
So have you had a conversation with Chelsea about what she's doing to help find work experience?
I haven't, but we can do
That
that.
might be a good idea, yeah.
And they would actually get paid. So the interns at the library, they were paid. They're paid a salary while they're doing it. So it's not a no cost, it's not costing.
Right.
It's getting paid through a grant. So
Right. So the ELO program also will do that, and I could be wrong, but I think it's a $15 an hour. And it goes through a company in Bangor in order to pay the kids, and there is a certain amount of hours that they can
Yeah,
work.
300 hours is what we can do. So maybe EMDC, it could be.
Yeah,
She may be talking to
yeah,
them already.
how about if I give the two of you an email and
Yep.
you might have something in common to share?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
When it comes to workers' comp and things that you mentioned with the kids going out into choosing the things, have you received, you said you were speaking with like the insurance company and things like
Insurance
that. Have you
companies.
received feedback of how does it follow generally like the risk class codes and things of the normal workforce? Like when you know, how you work in different
Yes.
risk related spheres and
Right.
they
What
assign
mod
a code
and-
to you and
yeah.
then it costs a certain amount.
It's kind of complicated
Mm.
with like looking at our local insurance providers compared to looking at MSMA. So we're kind of shifting now to go towards MSMA to see what they suggest we do,
Mhm.
because there are policies that will cover it. We haven't landed on a policy yet.
Gotcha.
But we're waiting on MSMA right now just to have a conversation, because we really need to make sure we know what we're asking for.
Mhm.
You know, like the risk for
Right.
somebody going to watch somebody do x-ray is entirely different than
Versus
the
welding.
risk for somebody who's going into a welding shop
Right.
or something.
Or, yeah,
So we're
warehouse
really,
work, things like that.
yeah.
I'd
So
be interested to see how that shakes out. Keep me
we have
for
a
that, 'cause
meeting, I think
I
it's on the
Awesome to see it.
16th or 18th. In Western Maine, they've been doing ELOs now for a few years
Mhm.
and they're really well developed.
Nice.
So we're trying not to recreate something they already know, and we're talking with them next, I think it's next week. But yeah,
Sweet.
yeah, I'll keep you posted.
All set. Thank you, Dr. Land. We'll be going into executive session and we won't be going back into regular session after, so.
Just for a vote, so, yeah.
There's no outcome.
No one comes, no one.
I love.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So nice to
you.
see such a turnout. I love it.
It is good.
Oh, I should have the voting probably.
Oh, Julie, 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 hold on. Julie, hold on. Julie.